Let's talk about something we all think we have plenty of: water. But what if I told you we're in the middle of a silent global crisis? Today, we are diving deep into the massive challenge of water insecurity, breaking down exactly what's going on. So here's the big question, right? Are we literally running out of water? Well, yes and no. It's not that the planet has less water overall. The real problem is how much of that water is fresh, clean, and actually available where we need it when we need it. So the question isn't just about quantity. The term we really need to focus on is water insecurity. This is what it all boils down to. It's when people and whole ecosystems just don't have enough safe, reliable water to survive and thrive. And it's being driven by this massive collision between two huge forces: a water supply that's shrinking and a demand that's just exploding. Okay, so let's tackle the first part of that problem, the supply side. Why is the amount of fresh water we can actually use, for drinking, for farming, under so much stress? It really breaks down into two camps. On one side, you have the physical causes. These are the natural things happening in the environment. And on the other, you have the human causes, which, let's be honest, are the things we're doing to either use up or pollute our own water sources. Let's start with the natural side of things. So a huge physical factor is just climate variability. You can think of it like the planet's weather patterns getting all scrambled. This means rainfall becomes super unpredictable. Some places get hit with brutal, long-lasting droughts, while others get slammed with floods. It makes managing a steady water supply incredibly, incredibly difficult. And if you live near a coast, there's this other sneaky threat: saltwater encroachment. It's exactly what it sounds like. As we drain the fresh water from underground sources called aquifers, there's nothing to stop salty ocean water from pushing its way in. And once that salt water contaminates an aquifer, it's basically game over for that water source. You can't drink it, you can't farm with it. All right, now let's switch over to the human side of the supply problem, because this is where we're really making things worse. First up is something called overabstraction. It's a fancy term for a simple problem. We're taking water out of the ground and from rivers way faster than nature can put it back. We're draining the planet's bank account, and it's not refilling. And it gets worse. It's not just that we're using too much water, we're also poisoning what's left. The three main culprits here are agricultural runoff, loaded with fertilizers and pesticides, industrial discharge full of nasty chemicals, and, of course, untreated sewage from our cities and towns. And this kind of pollution can be devastating. I mean, think about it. Just one factory dumping its waste can release toxic stuff like heavy metals into a river, making that water completely unusable and unsafe for everyone downstream. And believe it or not, the stuff from farms can be just as bad. When all those fertilizers run off the fields and into a lake or river, they can trigger something called eutrophication. Basically, it causes a massive bloom of algae that literally sucks all the oxygen out of the water, creating these huge dead zones where fish and other life just can't survive. Okay, so that's the supply picture. It's getting smaller, it's less reliable, and it's getting dirtier. But at the exact same time, the other side of this equation, our demand for water, is just skyrocketing. So let's unpack what's driving this incredible thirst. It really comes down to three big things. First, simple population growth. More people means more demand for water to drink, for sanitation, and, crucially, to grow food. Second, as economies grow and living standards rise, people just use more water per person. And third, industrialization is incredibly water intensive. You need massive amounts of water to manufacture goods, generate energy, and keep systems cool. So with all that demand, where is our freshwater actually going? Now this might actually blow your mind. A full 70%, 70, of all the freshwater we pull from the planet goes into agriculture. That's right, growing our food is by a huge margin the thirstiest thing we do. Industry takes about 20%, and everything we do at home, all our drinking, showering, cooking, that's just 10%. So you see where this is going, right? This is the core of the problem. We are on a global collision course where our shrinking supply is about to crash head-on into our ever-growing demand. On the one hand, our available supply of clean, fresh water is heading down, while on the other hand, our thirst for that water is soaring straight up. And the result of that collision is this massive widening gap between what we have and what we need. This isn't some abstract future problem. It means real conflict right now, with farms competing against cities for the same water. It means more frequent, more severe water shortages. And it means the risk of widespread water insecurity is going up for millions, if not billions, of people. So that leads us to the fundamental challenge. We are trying to manage a resource that is finite, that is limited, while the pressures on it just keep growing. So what on earth does the future look like? I think this quote from our source material really says it all. The keyword here is interaction. It's not just one thing. It's how climate change and population growth and pollution and industrial demand are all hitting this one finite resource at the exact same time. It's a perfect storm. And so we're left with this. Our water supply is finite. That's it. There's no more coming. But our demand for it seems to be infinite. So the real question for all of us is, how do we close that gap? Because figuring that out isn't just an environmental issue. It's one of the biggest challenges humanity will face this century.